Alright guys, aside from this thing looking absolutely fantastic, I'm just going over what to do here in the back. I'm not quite sure. It's actually like a good sized trunk, but there's not a lot of room. Not a lot of options. Don't know where to put stuff. But that is looking pretty good so far actually. Right? I don't know. Once everything's wired up, I definitely might need to make like a cover plate. But the battery's right under there. So that's how I'm thinking it's gonna look. What's up, YouTube? Welcome back to the channel. My name is Steve the Canadian. You guys already know that. Today, we are going to be taking a look at my BMW 328xi sound system. And we are going to be adding on a subwoofer amp, so naturally a subwoofer with that, and a 4-channel amp, all wired in, and hopefully by the end of this video, at least, we'll have the subwoofer working along with the sound system in the car. Now this car is a 2007 and it came with what is called a Logic 7 sound system. And when I bring you guys into the trunk here, I'll show you where that's at and I'll tell you what's going on there. But we will not be touching that system. So what a lot of guys may run into immediately is how to add this stuff on. Again, we'll be going over that in this video. And we'll be leaving that stuff alone and simply stealing signal to add on these amplifiers. And luckily for us, the battery's in the trunk, right to the right here underneath these panels. So running wires to the front, everything is right here from your amplifier to your battery. So no need to run wires. So it's a super simple process if you know what you're doing. The hardest part is mapping out where to put wires and everything. But again, once I get you in the trunk here, you'll start to see under all these panels, there are lots of room. So, is lots of room. English, second language, of course. So, I'm going to bring you guys in here, show you what we got going on, and then we will move on to installing this stuff. This will probably be, the trunk on its own is probably going to be a couple of videos. Not necessarily for the installation, but the rest of it. So the theme here, I've decided, initially I decided this car was going to be a modern replica to the Need for Speed M3 GTR. And I mean like down to the body kit. I have as close to the wheels as you can get without spending $6 grand on the race wheels. But believe it or not, it's oversaturated. I actually started looking online. I was even thinking about a wrap that would conform to this body shape without actually having to add on the wide body. But I did add on a body kit. It looked ridiculous. This car is meant to look classy and good. But I still want to continue that 1998 to like Need for Speed era vibes in the car. So I'm thinking door pods in the front, wrapped of course to match the leather. And then as we move into the back, we're going to have probably, for now, the amps will be mounted as they are. And then as I move into a more sophisticated design, they'll simply just adjust where they are. And then be covered, capped, leather wrapped. And I want front to back this whole car to kind of blend. So when you open the trunk, it's nice, well lit, brown leather, door pods, brown leather, everything else stays the same. And then this car will be basically as close to period correct as I want it to be. So I'm going to bring you guys into the trunk here and show you what I mean by period correct. Because that is what we are striving for. All right, and here we are, ladies and gentlemen. This is all of it, basically. So we'll start with the most glaring thing. You guys have seen this. I was going to say obviously, but maybe not obviously. This is a year 2000 Rockford Fosgate Punch High Excursion 2. And this was kind of the first rendition of one of the most badass subwoofers ever made. This thing pounds like 212s every day of the week. Absolutely amazing. Now, the next model year, you can really abuse. They take a lot more RMS, but equally good subs. If you have one of these or the next model year, you got a good sub. And it is in the perfect box. But as you guys can see, we got a lot of real estate here. And one day, if I can find another one of those, I've been looking for 2 years for another one of those. A perfect condition 12. When you take that out of the box, it is perfect. Like, that is a mint condition. Barely be abused, because you don't have to abuse them. They just pound. But if I could find another one of those, that'd be great, because then I'd have 2, and I could fill that gap. And that'd be much nicer. But for now, that'll be great. So let's move into what we got powering these bad boys. These are 2006 JBL. Well, let me actually get in there. Grand Touring amplifiers. You got the 300.1 monoblock. That'll be powering the subwoofer. And then I believe the 404 or 304 4-channel amplifier. And these are rare, beautiful classics to come across. Everything here is kind of rare car audio wise. And especially if you find these amplifiers with the, they have tubes that go inside of them up in here. And they're neon tubes, and you can still buy them. But I think I'm gonna go LED inside of there to try to match the color of the interior light. But these subs, if you had them with the neon on the inside, were about as fancy as you could be back in 2006. Because back then JBL was kind of top of the line. So these things are beautiful. I love them. I got them for a great deal. I got all 3 of these off the same guy, actually, just 2 years apart. I just picked up these amps, and I picked up that 2 years ago. But all off the same guy. And he gave me this Stinger camp for free. Oh my God, it's so cold. But yeah, for anyone that knows Stinger, I've been told in America it's a Walmart brand. I haven't seen it in Walmart in Canada, but back in like the early 2000s, if you wanted car audio, you got Stinger wire, you got Stinger capacitors, you got Stinger, if you could, you got Stinger everything, right? You got Stinger controllers, like that thing. And it used to just be the best, but I haven't seen much from them lately. But that is, all of this is period correct. And as I was saying earlier in the video, for now, I'm not sure if we're going to be installing that because I need to charge it and I don't have a capacitor. And I just want to get everything wired and ready. And then we'll worry about it. So we got an Amazon controller here. Instead of doing 2 controllers, I just went with a 4-channel one. And I can do the mono off one, the 4-channel off the other. Because in this car, you can steal full signal off the speakers. The front ones are mid-bass, but full range cut down. So if you steal it off the amplifier, you get full range signal. So that'll be fine. So we got that to cover how to get the signal, and obviously we'll be going over, while I'm doing it, what I'm doing. Full on amp kit. We just got an Amazon amp kit. Plain Jane, nothing crazy. I'm gonna need to get another fuse holder for when we hook up that amp. But lots of wire. Even if we get to use red for ground, that doesn't matter. So this kit was 35 bucks. It's got more than enough wire. This is meant to wire like a full vehicle. The battery's right there. Not a joke. That's why I'm saying it's gonna be easy. The fuse holder is gonna go right there. Like 2 probably, one there, one there. So even if the cap is still there, like that, which probably will be. And what I'm thinking is I'm gonna get the cap wrapped in like a NOS bottle sticker, just for the hell of it. So that when this is all done, it just looks like a NOS bottle, even though it's the cap. Obviously, it'll be a cap. But yeah, so that's what's going on here. This, hook it all up. This here, let me try not to be too in the light, I guess, is where your amplifier is. If you have the Logic 7 or BMW Professional sound system, you have this. And this is the amplifier. And underneath, like that carpet there, there's wires. And you tap into that. So if you're looking for signal For the rear here, you simply tap, this is a much better view, into the wires. Now I see a lot of people take all this out, and I kind of want to do that, but because it's apparently a pain in the ass to get that plug off. That is the plug. And I'm thinking I'll try it for a second. If it doesn't work, I'll just take this whole thing off. And then that's fine. It'll be easier to run wires anyways. But once all this stuff is out, the wires just go underneath there anyways. So it's all good. All the wires will be hidden. Most of them. I'm thinking what, like, obviously a trim plate will have to be done to get rid of all these wires that are coming around here and all these wires. It is what it is. But we're going to get into it, guys. I'm going to get all this stuff out of here because now it's just a lot of running wires to get it done. Heck yeah. All right, guys. All right, guys. We are in the trunk. As you guys can see, it's very minimal stuff to take out. There's the battery. There's an opening. Now, if you guys are looking at this and thinking, well, why not put the amps in here? Because, I mean, if you look over here, I don't have X drive and I don't have the CD player, which goes there. And I have big openings here. And realistically, the 1 amp could fit there and another amp could fit there. But I'm just worried about cooling. I'm worried about if I actually play the system underneath there, will it be okay? And then it's just a sub box in there. I think that'd be kind of plain. So lots of room. Really, that's my trunk now once everything's in. So, but what we're on to now is this. And I didn't film it because I needed really the light and everything going on. But this is the plug that you need to get to. Look at all those crazy connectors. That plug back there, the green wire, that is your fiber optic. You do not want to touch that cable. And I mean, you just don't want to unplug it and fuck around. Because if it works, it works. Don't touch it. It's 20 years old. Don't touch it. And for this plug, this is actually kind of a weird plug for plugging in. This is a slider. This is how it locks. So after you plug in the amp, as you plug it in, this slider slides down and grabs 2 nubs that go up over. And that's where is it? Hang on. There you go. You can see those 2 nubs. They just slide into place, locking the amplifier down. And then it's good. I never looked at the whole thing. L7. Logic 7 system. So yeah, so what we're going to be doing now is cutting off this sheathing and tying into the wires. And I will set up the camera for that so you guys can see what's going on. I wish I could get in there to like get more cable, maybe do the connections further back, but I can't get that. That is stripped. It was stripped when I first tried it, so I stopped trying it. There's just push pins otherwise. That one's, oh, that one's not even back in. Okay. There is push pins, but yeah, so we're going to leave that back in. I'm going to set the camera up and then we'll start tapping into some wires here. All right, guys, we are back in the back of the car. Oh, let me get out of the light here. And we are going to go over real quick. So this all connected up and everything. This is for the line output converter. As you can see, I got this bad boy. It's just an Amazon 4-channel line output converter. And I got it underneath where the cover will go in here. Just sitting there nicely. But that allows me to, because when this is all back on, all the wires, like power wire and everything, are going to pop up through the bottom under the amps. And then just run to the amp. So they'll be hidden. So putting that there, it's 2-way taped. Pretty good. That'll be good enough. The connector. I'm just going with all the same colors. I'm obviously going to have to mark them, but they're all in line so I know where they are, where they come from. Yeah, that one, that one, that one, that one. And then that'll just plug into that. And then for the other end here, we actually don't even need to get that crazy and strip the ends, as you guys can see, because we are going to be using the bulk pack stripping tap connectors. Yay! And these take both wires and crimp them into one connection. So these are what we're going to be doing. Now I have it all written down right here. What does what? It's not that hard to find a wiring diagram, but you're going to want that in front of you so you're not clipping into random wires. Like sub left. There's subwoofers under the front seats in this car. They're not really subs, more like mid-bass. Red, white, brown, yellow, you know, stuff like that. So all you do is you take those clips, you take the wire, and you connect them. You clip them around that wire and this wire, and they're connected. So you don't really have to worry about splicing, anything like that. So I am going to maybe move this light somewhere. I don't know. I'm not really getting everything. But I'm going to get all those clipped in and run it under the carpet, and then I will come back and we'll start working on power. Because once we got signal, we just need power. Yeah. All right. And just like that, guys, we are wired up. I know it's not the prettiest thing in the world, eh? But this will be able to lay flat under the carpet. Each one of those is hooked up to its respective wire as the list described. Yeah, it is that simple. The hardest part is actually getting, because all these wires are very tight. Oh, there we go. All these wires are very tight and hard together. So it's kind of hard to actually get in there to even begin putting these all in. And I haven't tested them yet, but here's to hoping. So I got all the cables cut. I'm going to start putting things together. And once everything... once everything is put to... once all the cables are put together and kind of where they're going to go, those are going to be 2 ground cables, I will touch base with you guys again. This is the power and ground for that. And the remote on and off. Yeah. Okay. All right. And we are back. So, my dudes. Hello again. We are on day number 2. I'm just taking my time with it. But what we're going to go over now is I'm going to show you guys what's going on here. I made sure it powered up. And yeah, let's get into it. All right, guys. So, to begin with, from the very beginning, after we took everything out, first thing we did was a 4-channel line output converter. Now, I ordered one that looked much different than this, but this one's metal, and it's nice, and the plug lights up to let you know it's on. It's actually pretty nice. I think that was $19, so that's pretty good. To the amplifier. This is a Logic 7 premium sound system in the BMW. Now, you can get around this by going to the rear deck speakers to steal direct power, but you're dealing with the deck then, like, because that's sealed, so you have to deal with the deck then. Or you can pull out that plug and absolutely hate life crimping all those little crimps onto it. You can do it, but I don't know if it's done right yet. I started filming this right when I got everything together. I know the amp turns on. I just hooked up the box. You guys are going to test it with me. You guys are going to see if it works. So what we got going on here is from the battery, the cable runs into the back. I got another fuse holder coming for the 4-channel. So there will be 2. You see another hole there. So there will be 2 fuse holders in that tray, and it just slides back in there. And then the power wires come out from the fuse holder. If I throw the cap in there one day, you know, I'll be able to put the cables to the cap real easy, fused already. So, but then both power wires come out and just run. This one obviously runs to the amp, and then the other power wire, which is either the one in the bottom or this one. I don't know. But I think it's this one. Yeah, this is the other power wire. So the other power wire will run underneath as well. This power wire will actually be for the 4-channel. The other one's longer, so it'll be for this one. But you have to test everything before you get all cleaned up. The tray itself is going to have holes under the amps. So here's my plan, guys. On the tray, I wanted the amps to sit kind of like, I'll do it this way, kind of like this. You know what I mean? So that they're facing you and the lights are on. But what I didn't realize is that these are very flimsy yeah, you can already see it's cracked. A couple of them are cracked, but they're not broken, and I didn't want to break them. So as soon as I started angling them, yeah, didn't look good. So I mean, that'll be like part 2 in the series, but it'll probably be a couple of wood trays that they sit on. So I'm not so much worried about the actual under tray, because I'm just going to paint it, cover it, and then start building off of that. But for now, we got signal from there. We got the rear decks, because the rear decks, from what I was told, are actually full. They're not split sound-wise, even though a lot of people say don't go the rear decks. And then subwoofers that go to this. So, and then that's just RCA out from that channel. Now, I don't even know if it works yet. I'm just rambling. I think I'm nervous to turn it on, but I'll set you guys up and we'll... This one and this one. Now I hope the amp doesn't turn on when I plug this in. Oh, sick. Because that means I wired it up right. So when I turn this on now, we should have some sort of thumpy thump, you know what I mean, going on. Oh. Now I haven't touched anything about this amp yet. And just like that, my dudes, we know everything is all good. Now, I just shut the system off, pulled the key. Now, within 5 minutes, that should all turn off. We'll see. If it does, it does. If it doesn't, it doesn't. I'm not going to make you guys wait around, obviously, for that. But we know we got sound. We know we hooked up that correctly, at least for the subwoofer, because I didn't hear any voice coming out of that. I just heard bass. So we're gonna have to play with the amp, obviously. I don't know what that's tuned to. I haven't touched a thing. This is, you're live with me now, experiencing. Let's go 0.5. So yeah, so now I just have to disconnect that bad boy, because really in this scenario of an install, you can just leave the battery hooked up, because I hooked off an accessory power, which everyone's been telling me, if you hook off the accessory power and you get in an accident, the accessory power cuts, and then that may damage your amp. And I'm sitting there thinking, if you just got rear-ended hard enough that your battery is actually a worry, I don't think, you know what I mean? Like, it's not that big of a deal at that point. I would rather all power be cut completely. Like, if the radio's still going and it's trying to draw power, I'd just rather everything be cut, honestly. So I feel like it's the best route to go that way if it is a safety feature. If you're getting in an accident that bad, you're probably going to get paid more for your car than the system's worth, right? So it's not worth mucking around, because if you hook it to the main power, Your car has a lot of electronics that may not like that. Same with if you hook back here, you guys won't be able to see it. Yeah, I can't turn it on. So back there, there's a ground for the entire car and the battery. If you hook this ground to that, you may cause electrical issues with either your amp or the car with a difference of signal. So you don't want to do that either. But luckily in this car, let's see if I can do it without covering it. I can't. In this car, those brackets are for a system called iDrive. This car does not come with iDrive. That's the infotainment system. So those are perfect mounting brackets, perfectly, like they're already, what the fuck am I gonna say? Like they're shiny metal. Yeah, and they have grooves meant to lock a bracket down. So shiny metal, grooves, those grounds aren't going anywhere. And there's two. One for the one amp, one for the other amp. So it's perfect. So if you have a BMW 3 Series, you may have already watched the 10 million other videos on how to do this, but it's quite easy to find a wiring diagram for the Logic 7. That everybody kept saying it's hard, but that was one of the easiest things to find. And it was correct so far from what I can tell, because I had bass coming out, not voice. So I think it's right. Hardest part is if you're gonna get crazy like me and start hiding wires. That's the hardest part so far. It would have been done already if I wasn't trying to figure out how to lay this out with two amplifiers. But otherwise, now that I know it works, it's time to unhook power, unhook everything, and start throwing panels in, drilling holes, getting shit ready. It's not gonna take that long really, but I will come back to you guys probably at the point where I have the panel in and the wires out, and then I'll put the amps on and we'll go from there. I'm not going to be hooking up the 4-channel yet, obviously. I'll get the power run and the ground run, but no power to it yet. But Saturday, my birthday, speakers get here, and then and the fuse holders. And we'll get the whole thing going. Yeah, so I'll see you guys in a minute. Good to get at her. What's going on, guys? All right, we are done, and we are outside because honestly it's just too dark and dingy in there, and I'm tired of being in the garage. So we are going to take a look at what we got going on here. And first, just every time I see it, I can't wait till I get some wheel spacers to bring that out about an inch. Good inch, yeah. Ooh, so just to Ooh, she's looking good today. To reiterate what we got going on. There we are. So, like I was talking about before, obviously need some sort of cover plate. Once this is all figured out, the sub wire will go underneath with the rest of the wires. But then maybe just a nice trim plate, you know, to go around where the wires. This amp's not hooked up yet because I am still waiting on the front speakers. Now, what I was talking about before, guys, right here, look at that. Look at that. You can hold maybe like 20 bucks in there. I don't know. Nothing big, right? That's where the speakers are going. So I got to figure out a nice layout in there. They're going to be full range, this door and this door, and they're going to be ran off of this amp. So that's where we're at, guys. I'll see if I can get the sub moving. I don't want to play too much. It's not on music. I don't want to play too much non-appropriate music. Yeah, it's all just freaking industrial hardware. Using a line output converter. To be real, guys, using a line output converter, you just never quite get the cleanest signal. Ooh. Yeah. So that's where we're at for now, guys. All right, guys. And with that, we are going to call that one good. Well, good enough for now. When we come back and revisit this one, we will be taking everything back out basically to finish up kind of the 1998 Need for Speed vibe. You know what I mean? Like if I'm gonna fill the trunk, I want to make it look nice. And like I was telling you guys earlier, when I tried to put the amps in, they're definitely gonna break if I put them in the way I was thinking with like spacers. So I'm gonna have to start building some shelves to get those amps up on an angle. And then I'm thinking, you know, same color leather to cover both. And then once the red LEDs are in, I'll see if I can find orange. If I can find orange, it'll match the car. And then I'll have a front to back matching car. And it'll be like a real classy, yeah, I hope. I'm trying to make this car look like classy and put together at the same time. It's kind of a hard line to ride, but I'm gonna do it. But yeah, thank you guys for dropping by. This will be it for this episode, and in the next one might possibly be the hood getting wrapped or something else, but it's gonna be something. So thank you guys for dropping by again. If you have any questions about what went on here today, feel free to drop a comment and I can let you know. No problem. It isn't that hard to install a stereo in your car. It's just intimidating if you already have stuff you don't want to touch, right? But don't be intimidated. You can do it. You can do anything you want. All right, guys. Thanks for dropping by. Like, subscribe, share, do all that stuff. Bye-bye.